Hi, welcome to the trumpet introduction video. The trumpet is a brass instrument, you know that already. The trumpet has 3 valves, you know that already. The trumpet plays notes in the treble clef, you know that already. The trumpet plays on a cup-shaped mouthpiece, you know that already. Sound is produced by the player's lips vibrating together with air being pushed through it, called buzzing, you know that already. So, let's get you moving. First things first, sit your instrument case on a flat surface, a flat stable surface. Your lap is not a flat stable surface, and take your instrument out carefully. As you take your instrument out, the first thing that you want to do is take your mouthpiece out. Your mouthpiece, you're going to hold it with your thumb and your first finger. The action of buzzing is this. To get a buzz, you're going to E, M. So, E, M. Wet your lips ahead of time. That actually helps you get a buzz out a little bit quicker. Don't jam the mouthpiece into your lips. Don't go, because if you get that, that's not the right sound. That means you're pretty much about to give yourself an aneurysm and bust a vein in the back of your throat and some other places, and that's not cool. You're not pressing the mouthpiece hard against your lips. You're just putting it on there just enough to seal up, keep any air from escaping. So, what we're going to do right now is we're going to hold each buzz for 4 counts. So you're going to take in a nice big full breath of air, fill all the way up like you're getting ready to jump underwater, and you got to hold your breath, get all the way to the bottom and get back up to the top. 1. Our friend the metronome is going to help us out. Let's set that for 84 beats a minute, 88 beats a minute. Okay. 1, 2, 3. To start off your buzz, you need fast, cold air. Fast, cold air. So, if your hand was on fire, you wouldn't be going to try to put it out. You'd be like, so we want that fast, cold air. We want that fast, cold air in order for you to start up your buzz. The next thing you'll do as far as warm-ups, you want to practice what we call siren buzzing. Siren buzzing happens when you're going from a low sound or a low pitch to a high sound and back down again. The same way a siren goes, da, you're going to do the same thing on your mouthpiece. Here's a hint. For the low notes, your air is going to travel along the shank of the instrument and go straight ahead. For the high notes, your air is going to be aimed just ever so slightly upward. So your bottom lip's going to stick forward just slightly to blow your air upward. You can see me from the side. So practice that for just a few seconds. Literally, it's about a 30 to 45 second exercise before you start playing your instrument. You're going to carefully put the mouthpiece into the receiver. Don't do this. Don't do that, because that jams the mouthpiece in there, and then you have to bring it to school, and I have to use a mouthpiece puller to get it out. You cannot use pliers. Please. Otherwise, you're going to be paying for a new instrument or a new mouthpiece or both. Next up, now that we've got you creating a buzz on the instrument, creating a buzz on the mouthpiece, we're going to work on articulation, separating the notes properly. Start all of your notes off with your tongue. Right now, I want you to repeat after me. Get ready. We're going to do it along with the metronome. 1. You're going to say 2. 1, 2. Ready? 2, 2, 2, 2. All in one breath. Ready? 2, 2, 2, 2. Your turn. 2, 2, 2, 2. 2, 2, 2, 2. 2, 2, 2, 2. Good. Next thing you're going to do is this. Before I continue, you'll notice I'm doing this all in one breath. I'm not going 2, 2, 2, 2, because nobody talks like that. Instead, everybody talks like this, and they take one breath and say a whole bunch of stuff in one breath and separate stuff with their teeth, tongue, mouth, and everything else in between, and then after they're done and they run out of air, then they take another breath and start a new sentence. Okay? So, one breath, one sentence. This time we're going, ready? Full breath of air. With the mouthpiece. Good. Now what you've done so far is train your mouth and train the muscles in your mouth to produce the right type of motion in order to produce the right type of sound. So far we haven't done a sound yet, but we're about to. This time you're going to buzz. Your tongue should be hitting the back of your teeth, right at the area where your teeth and your gum come together. And your teeth should not be together inside of your mouth. They should be open. Excuse me. And please notice, I'm inhaling through the sides of my mouth when I do this, because you can take in more air there faster than you can taking it in through your nose. Let's do some buzzes first. Good. All right. Next up, we're going to talk about holding the instrument. The trumpet gets held with both hands. I'm going to put the mouthpiece in the receiver for a moment. The main things you have to worry about on your trumpet. Number one, don't sit your trumpet on the bell like this, please, because it can very easily damage the bell. The bell is the brass dents and bends very easily. You can see this has a slight warble down here at the bottom because of previous people not taking good care of it. You have 3 slides, you have 3 valves, a bunch of braces, and 3 slides to worry about. Your first valve slide back here, which you'll move with your left thumb. Your third valve slide, which you will move with either your ring finger or your middle finger. And I just moved it too much. You're holding the instrument. Your right hand, first finger, second finger, third finger. Your pinky is not going to sit up underneath of here. If you see people with their pinky underneath of there, they're wrong. Your pinky sits on top of the pinky rest. And your first three fingers, first finger, second finger, third finger, all sit on top of here. We'll talk about oiling your valves on all of the brass instruments a little bit later. But right now, your first finger, second finger, and third finger sit on here. Curve your fingers so that they're pressing straight up and down. Do not play flat fingered. If you play flat fingered, two things are going to happen. Number one, you're going to eventually put more strain on all of the tendons in the back of your hand, which will make it hurt more, faster. And number two, you also make little micro dents and bends to each of these valve caps, and eventually the valve stems, this part right here, gets bent and can accidentally, if it gets bent, you'll end up with the valve sticking and not coming back up. And that's not always an oil issue. It's a bent valve stem issue, which has to get straightened out. All right, so your left hand is holding the instrument. Your right hand, you're going to put your thumb here, curve around the valve casings, and your third finger, or your ring finger actually, your ring finger, your ring finger will sit right here because that sucker's going to be able to slide this back and forth. I usually use, there's a really loose slide cream that I can use for these. These do need slide cream because they need to be able to move back and forth quickly, but not just yet. You don't have to worry about that right now. You will have to worry about that a couple of years from now when you're a better player with more experience. And now we're going to start getting into some of the fine tunings of the instrument to make sure we play every single note in tune. So you're going to hold it like this. This is your left hand holding the instrument from this side. Your right hand's up here. Thumb resting right underneath of the valve case right here. First finger, second finger, third finger. Pinky finger sitting on top of the pinky rest. The book is going to have you learn your first note either as a C, bop, or a G, bop. I prefer to start everybody on a G because most of the time younger players, because they want to make sure they nail it right, they use a lot of air and their lips are a little bit tighter and they end up getting a G out. So this is the sound you're looking for. I played it that long so that you have the opportunity to go back and play along with it and hopefully match it the exact same way that I just played it. You have the opportunity to do that right now. You can stop the video, rewind it, go back, and try to play your first note and see if it matches up. Otherwise, you can come back to this video a little bit later on. All right. So we're going to go ahead and the first two exercises, first valve, second valve, third valve, by the way. The first two exercises inside of the Standard of Excellence book you should be able to figure out pretty well now. You've got a whole note. You know that's 4 counts. Your first note is G. The next note that you're going to learn is F. F is played with first finger. And F is found in the first space down at the bottom of the staff. You'll notice some things while I'm playing. My elbows are away from my body. I'm not playing like this. The instrument is pointing straight ahead, not pointing down. So hold the instrument up. You've got 2 hands. Hold the instrument up. All right. So number 3 inside of the book is going to have you going between G and F, G, F, And number 4, they're going to introduce you to E. 1 and 2, first finger and second finger. Da. Then it's going to have you going back and forth. After that, the next note you get introduced to is D. Now, here's one thing that might trip you up a little bit. D, 1 and 3, can also play G. The way we don't get you tripped up is the direction of your air. Bum, 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 bum. So if you're blowing your air straight ahead, more than likely, D will come out. If your lips are too tight or you're blowing your air upward, G is going to come out. Real quick, the last quick thing I'll tell you is the way that works is actually, the last note of the first 5 notes that we're introducing you to is C. C is also played open, just like G is played open. Well, wait a minute, Mr. G, you can play C, you can play G open or 1 and 3? Yes, there are multiple fingerings. And you use them in different situations. That's a 5-month from now conversation. Right now, C is played open, G is played open. The same thing I said about D and G applies to C and G. If you're playing straight ahead, more than likely you'll get C. If you're aiming your air slightly upward and your lips are a little bit tighter and that bottom lip is sticking a little bit more forward so the air is aiming upward, you're going to get G. Alright, so your first 5 notes are C, D, E, F, G. Alright, so those are your first 5 notes on the instrument. Yes, there's plenty of stuff that you can do with them. There's plenty of fun you can have with them. But take your time. Right now you're getting introduced to whole notes. You're getting introduced to half notes because we want to build up your lungs and get you breathing correctly so that you can produce the right type of sound. Eventually all of that two that we did earlier, when you hit number 15 inside of Standard of Excellence Book 1, you're going to hit those quarter notes. 2, 2, 2, 2. Then they're going to go 2, 2, 2, 2 on D, then da, 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 and so on. So, you got some work to do, but once you get these first 5 notes down, everything else becomes a little bit easier. And you'll find that the more you learn, the easier it is to learn the rest of the stuff that comes after it. Music is cumulative. You build on top of more things as you go along. So, continue to build your knowledge, continue to work, continue to practice, continue to improve. I'll see you during class.